Alright, what is going on, you guys? It is a Red Prism back again for another video, and today this is just gonna be a small little video that kind of want to go ahead and pretty much just make. So yeah, pretty much I was able to upgrade my system, not my whole entire system unfortunately, because I wasn't able to pick up a GPU, but yeah, maybe later on I'll be picking it up. But yeah, I was able to pretty much get out of my old... So yeah, I was pretty much able to get out of my old Crosshair 6.0 motherboard. This is the X370, and I think I still have it in here. So if I open the box over here, this thing is pretty heavy because the motherboard is in here already. So yeah, it's actually in here. And there is the Ryzen 7 2700X in there because unfortunately I don't have the original box for it, because before I got this motherboard, the computer was pretty much a pre-built. So there's that. But yeah, so the motherboard I pretty much went with was the B60, the Gigabyte B650 Gaming X AXV2. So there was like a Micro Center bundle where you get a motherboard, you get DDR5 32GB RAM sticks, and then you get the processor itself. And I believe I don't remember how much the bundle was, and I'm not so sure if we can still get it, but I think it was like around $400, I believe. And then the PSU was separate, so this was pretty much separate from all of this because the bundle only included the motherboard, the RAM, and the CPU. So the CPU I went with was the Ryzen 7 9700X, I believe. Yeah, so it's the 9700X, and I know the 9800X 3D came out just a while ago, but unfortunately they didn't have it in stock, so I had to go ahead and go with the 9700X. But the 9700X is still really nice. It is really it's really fast. So it's an 8-core 16-thread, of course, and then for the RAM sticks, you get 2 RAM sticks of G.Skill Flare X5, which is 6000, I believe, DDR5 memory. This is just my old RAM sticks that I have in here. These are the DDR4 2400, 16 gigs, so 8 gigs on each DIMM. And then of course in the back, as I said, here is the power supply I went with. So this is the MSI Mag A850 GL. So I went with an 850 watt power supply. It might be a little bit overkill, but I do need the space for if I'm going to be getting a new GPU later on. So definitely it's going to help out, because before my old power supply was a 600 watt power supply, and it was a Thermaltake Smart 600 watt power supply, which that power supply lasted for like 6 years, I think. But yeah, it was already slowly dying because unfortunately, like, the fan berry that's inside of the power supply just started making a weird rattling noise. So yeah, I pretty much had to go ahead and start getting a new power supply. So yeah, I went with this one because this one was a bit more on the cheaper side, but it's a really good power supply, and it is a 80 plus gold power supply, so it's a really good power supply. So yeah, overall all of this was pretty much 585, I think. I can't remember what the what's it called, can't remember what the whole entire price was for everything. But yeah, pretty much I just needed all of this. I didn't really care about storage because I feel like storage, I'm already set for storage. I can later upgrade the storage if I need to. The only thing that I pretty much just need is the GPU, because the GPU, the one that I currently have on my system, is a GTX 1070, overclocked, I guess. And that is still holding up pretty well, but I definitely want to go ahead and start upgrading that sometime soon, because yeah, the 1070 is pretty much getting out of date, or it's already outdated, so I have to go ahead and get something new. Tell me in the comments down below what you guys recommend, because I'm trying to look at these different GPUs. I'm kind of sort of debating if I want to go with a Radeon card or an NVIDIA card again, but I've been seeing the Radeon cards, and it's just pretty much their video memory is a whole lot more higher than the NVIDIA one. But I've heard that the NVIDIA ones are a whole lot more powerful, I guess, than the Radeon cards. I'm not so sure if that's true or not. Tell me in the comments down below, because I haven't really done that much research, unfortunately, on the graphics cards. But yeah, pretty much for, I guess, this year, because I'm not going to be upgrading this anytime soon. This year I kind of went a little bit on the budget side. But yeah, later on I'm definitely going to be upgrading this motherboard, probably in the next year or two, because I definitely want to have a X870 motherboard or an X870E motherboard, because those are a whole lot more better than these ones. And I gotta say, unfortunately, this motherboard doesn't have a Q code reader. Yeah, but anyways, I guess we can go ahead and check out the system. So here is the entire system here. So if I move the case a bit, you can see, I know the computer's a bit dusty. Let me just turn this into a different light here. There we go. So yeah, this is what we have right now. You can see there is the cooler. So the cooler I'm using is a Noctua NH212S. It actually cools the Ryzen CPU just fine, because this guy, I don't know why it doesn't say it on the box, but I believe it's a 120 TDP watt processor. Because the Ryzen 7 2700X was a 105, and this one is, I believe, is a 120. So yeah, I'm not so sure. I don't think, I keep dropping this box, man. Okay, I don't think it tells you on the box, unfortunately. But yeah, it's so weird. It's real weird. And yeah, there's the price tag, $360. There goes the dog. But yeah, so we have the G-Skill memory in there, we have the gigabyte motherboard in there, and then the GPU. And as I said, the GPU is getting really old. It's the GTX 1070. It's still a really good GPU, but unfortunately it's getting outdated, and as I said, I definitely want something new. And then there's the speaker down there. And unfortunately, it doesn't have a Q code reader, so I can't really tell what the fuck is going on when it fucking turns on. But yeah, essentially, before I did this whole entire build, I had to go ahead and upgrade the BIOS. So, because I honestly did not know what version the BIOS came from, and unfortunately, the newer processors that are coming out, if you want to, you know, do a build with them, you have to update the BIOS for these motherboards. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really know if the motherboard had the new BIOS, so I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and upgrade it, because if I see that we're not posting, then that just means that either something's wrong with the motherboard, or I actually have to upgrade the BIOS, which thank God there wasn't any problem with the motherboard. The motherboard is fine. And there weren't any bent pins, so that's good. But yeah, the power supply is down there, unfortunately, and unfortunately you can't really see it, but it's down there. And then oh yeah, and then here is the bag with all of the the cores. And then inside this motherboard box, I do have my old power supply in there. But yeah, fortunately no RGB, which honestly I don't really care because I've never really been a big fan of RGB anyways. Sort of like the system being this, like, you know, this dark, I guess. But yeah, I have like RGBs on the case, which is alright. But yeah, I have to like pretty much clean up this system soon. It's getting a little bit dusty in here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just kind of wanted to go ahead and give you guys an update on what I'm working with the system. And if anybody's out there watching this video, tell me in the comments down below which GPU I should get, because I really don't know. And if you guys look at my setup over here, I am running two 1920 by 1080p monitors, and these are 22-inch monitors. So I feel like getting an RTX, like a 4090 or 4080 might be overkill, because I don't plan on upgrading these monitors anytime soon. I've always just pretty much run everything at 1080p. So everything that you guys see on my YouTube channel runs at 1080p, and all of the equipment that I use is 1080p. I'm not really thinking about upgrading to 1440p or 4K anytime soon. So if there's anybody out there that can recommend me a card that's, you know, that's a whole lot better than the GTX 1070 and it's not super overkill, tell me in the comments down below, because I would like to search up that card and see if whether or not I'm able to pick that up. So yeah, but anyway, you guys, that's pretty much it. I don't think I have anything else to talk about, but yeah, that's pretty much the entire build for now, until probably in the next 1 to 2 years, I guess. And then I'll also be making another video where I show you guys the new GPU that I got, and I guess showing you guys how to install a GPU onto the motherboard, which, I mean, I think it's pretty easy to install a GPU to the motherboard. I don't think it's not that complicated. But yeah, the entire build took me like 3 to 4 hours, because unfortunately when I decided to pick all of this stuff up, I didn't prepare this unfortunately. So I pretty much had all of my parts ready, but unfortunately the older system, which is the Crosshair 6 Hero system, was still in the case. So I had to pretty much get it out of here, and yeah, that took a while, because I had to take out the cooler, I had to take out the motherboard, and I also had to take out the exhaust fans, because the cable that runs to the CPU power over here, unfortunately, is like really small, and then like the gap for like the 120 fan that's in the back is like super thick. So I couldn't even get my hands to take out the freaking cord. I had to freaking take out the exhaust fan first in order to get to the power cord for the CPU. But yeah, anyways, this is still a really nice motherboard. I love the Crosshair 6 Hero. It's definitely one of my favorite X370 motherboards. If you guys want to know how I got this in the first place, is pretty much I decided to get this on eBay. And yes, I know, unfortunately eBay can potentially be a scam, but I didn't get scammed, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess. But yeah, this is still like a really good, I don't know why these clips are on, there we go. But yeah, this is like still a really solid motherboard. And if I were to build an entire other system, I would definitely still use the Crosshair 6 Hero, because the Crosshair 6 Hero is still a really good motherboard. And I loved that this guy had so many USB ports. So if you take a look here, there we go. So I like how this guy had like a total of like 8 USB ports. So you have four there, 4 of the USB 3.0, and then you have 4 USB 2.0s. One is specifically for the BIOS, and then 4 more USB 3.0s, and then the Ethernet, and then of course the USB 3.1, I believe, and then the Type C one, and then your audio and stuff, and yeah. But yeah, and there is the Ryzen 7 2700X just chilling there, because as I said, I don't have the box for it, because before I got the system was a pre-built, so unfortunately they didn't give me the boxes for the original stuff. And then the dog is still barking outside. But yeah, this is still a really good, solid motherboard, and I love this motherboard. I don't think I'm going to be selling this motherboard anytime soon. This is going to stay in here for a good while, because this was such a really good motherboard. I love this Asus motherboard. So yeah, maybe later on I'm planning to get the X870E one, but originally, before getting this one, I wanted to get the MSI Meg X870 board, but unfortunately, with all of this, and if I were to not get that, it would be around like $800. So I was like, oof. I mean, I can definitely get it, but like, it's too much money, man. So I was like, you know what? I gotta go ahead and save up some money, dude. I definitely need to. So I went with pretty much the budget route, I guess, for this build. And I gotta say, man, the bundle that Micro Center had, or still has, if it's still there, is a really good bundle. I definitely recommend it. If it's still available, you guys should definitely pick it up if you want to either upgrade a system that's a really old system, like a 10 or a 12-year-old system. You can definitely save up a whole lot of money by going with this bundle instead of going with something too expensive. And because yeah, this definitely saved me a whole bunch of money. It saved me like $300, around that number. So yeah. But anyway, you guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I don't want to make this video too long. We're already in the 19-minute mark. And yeah, say goodbye to the Crosshair 6 Hero and say hello to the new B650, the Ryzen 7 9700X. And if anybody wants to know why I didn't pick up the 9800X 3D, it wasn't available at my Micro Center, so unfortunately I had to go ahead and pick up the 9700X. And yeah, the PSU wasn't in the bundle. I had to pay that separately, so it was like, fortunately it doesn't have the price tag, but I think it was like around 180 or something. But yeah, anyway, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.